Superintendent Dorsey has just one policy when it comes to Facebook. It's banned in the school. She doesn't restrict teachers from communicating with students via social media, but she suggests they don't. Now, we don't know if and when Cruz, as well as the building's owners, will get to go inside. And what really makes this complicated is that the building has 3 different owners and, in turn, 3 insurance policies. There are still potholes about a couple inches deep. For decades, people were able to come and pick up a copy of the commercial news 7 days a week. But for the past 2 Mondays, they haven't found anything in here. Given that the tree fell on this side of the house, Tim is especially glad his family wasn't home when this happened. To protect his store, Antonio put surveillance cameras like that one. Those officials point to the 1960s when, for every $12 of state funding, the university got 80 cents worth of tuition. Now, for every dollar of tuition, the state provides 80 cents. On a night like this, we should hear the engines roaring, should smell the fuel and hot rubber, but instead the only movement here is the weeds growing behind me on the track. We asked Erwin why he stepped down.
I have no comment.
Have you done nothing wrong? Why would you resign?
No, I have no comment.
Feel you deserve the money you've been paid for the last month?
He's already said no comment. No comment means
would you like
no
to speak
comment.
for him?
No, I would not. We have no comment other than the announcement that was read.
Will you have a comment anytime soon?
No.
Once the game ends, the parking lot outside the Tuscola tent will fill with about 500 fans ready to eat. But to cook for that many people, someone's got to miss the game. The medical director for the Department of Corrections says the county health department numbers are wrong. He says far fewer than 150 inmates here got the flu, but doesn't have a number himself. Now, he adds the lockdown here will end on Thursday. Her mom had heard the stories about kids calling her names and promised to take it to the principal Monday, but that meeting never happened. Friday night, a girl described as loving, energetic, and spontaneous took her life at the age of 10.
Father, we come before your presence now.
Outside the house, a family looks for answers. Inside, you learn about Ashlyn Connor by hearing a story that begins with a then 3rd grader cleaning her room.
She brings this bag down the hall, just dragging it down the hallway, and she brought it into me and said that they were closed and they were to go to Haiti. She didn't want them anymore because they needed them more than she did.
She was just a great kid, just a happy-go-lucky and always smiling, always happy, always wanting to help somebody. And that was Ashlyn.
Outside Ridge Farm Elementary, safe school zone signs warn against drugs and gangs, but not bullying. Ashlyn, now in 5th grade, told her mom girls called her fat, ugly, and worse.
Any hateful word, she was called a slut at school. And she came home and told me that, and she didn't even know what that word meant. I didn't tell her what it meant. She's too young to know what that means.
It was too much. Friday night, Ashlyn hanged herself with a scarf. Monday, loved ones made posters for her funeral.
The last couple of days, with the overwhelming support of the community, Facebook, family, friends, been very humbling. It's helped us it's what has helped us get through.
In her bedroom, Ashlyn ended her young life, but her family now believes that too will help others.
If she just saves one child from being bullied, if one bully gets this message and thinks about it and says, I'm not going to make another child feel that way, she did it. She did it.
The Georgetown Ridge Farm superintendent says the district won't take any action until the sheriff's office finishes its investigation. Ashlyn has already helped others in death. Her family says so far she's donated her heart valve, knee tissue, and corneas. Rick? I've just been told that the actual demolition itself is going to start sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's just a lot of prep work that has to be done first. I'm going to step out of the frame here so you can take a look at what's going on here. Crews are working on a barrier right now that's going to protect the storefronts of Zorba's, Pitaya, and Miazaz, and that's going to take a little bit of time. They've also had to remove a street light, take down Miazaz's canopy. The idea is to protect the storefronts and also to give plenty of room on the sidewalks. Now, when the demolition does start, crews are going to go up in bucket trucks. They're going to start at the very top of the building, and they're going to remove pieces of that top of the building brick by brick. There's going to be no big heavy balls smashing into this building. It's going to be a very meticulous, deliberate process, simply because the city is very concerned that if you were to rip the front of this building down, it would cause major damage to the street and sidewalk. So it's going to be a very slow process, and they're going to go piece by piece from the top of the building down to that first stone line there. Then for that second part, between that line and then that second line below the windows, that second portion is going to get ripped out in bigger chunks with an excavator. The idea is to clear that brick out, to clear out that loose glass, clear out any loose debris in an effort to keep those parts from blowing out onto the street once Green Street reopens. Now, the supervisor of this demolition has told me that they have until sundown on Sunday to get that work done, and he expects they're going to need every minute of that time. Kate?
The coach figured it'd be a good way to get guys through rehab and eventually back home. But after 200 veterans applied for the team, he thought this could be something special. When calls came in from groups all over the country, he knew it already was.
Part of the team!
Everybody goes to a point where you don't know what you can do. I wasn't sure what I would be capable of doing with a prosthetic.
Shortstop Matt Kinsey found out he's capable enough to start for the Wounded Warriors. The Rockville, Indiana native is one of 15 players to make the team.
We're half Army, half Marines, and they're like brothers now. These guys are best of friends. They're texting, calling, visiting each other when we're not playing. They're friends for life.
Ho! Those friends helped Kinsey through a difficult year. Last June, he was on his second tour of Afghanistan.
I was on month 10 of my deployment out of 12, and we were on a night mission. Mission was over. We were working our way back to our base, and I was clearing out in front of my team and stepped on a landmine.
Kinsey lost his right foot, putting him in the company of teammates missing an arm, a leg, or even both legs.
Perhaps the most unique aspect of practice is these guys will take a break every 30 minutes or so, but not to catch their breath or get a drink. They got to wipe down their legs and their prosthetics, or else they won't have a good fit, and that could lead to some really nasty blisters.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Beyond the physical damage, a slip will also lead to some teasing.
There's nothing you can do. You're not going to get that part back that you've lost. And the best way that we deal with it, and we joke around with each other about it.
Kinsey is frequently a target.
Guys make fun of me, so I have a paper cut because I'm only missing my foot.
It's made their journey all the more fun.
This has progressed to the point where it's a dream. It's a dream job. And I want to take this even further.
You're on deck. Yes, sir.
You can't feel sorry for yourself because none of us do. And that really drives you. When you see a guy missing a leg, diving for a ball, or diving head first in a second to be, to get a double, that just makes you step your game up as high as you can.
And that applies for life outside of softball.
That applies to everything you do.
While in Danville, the Wounded Warriors played games against both the Danville Police and Fire Departments.
And AJ, these guys tour the country all year long.
Well, just this past weekend, Rick, they were in the nation's capital to play a team of DC celebrities, and next month they'll play a series in Las Vegas. Just an amazing group of guys.
Yeah, certainly a very inspiring story, AJ. Thanks.